So at this time, from our perspective here on Earth, we are seeing the sun relative to us, and it is moving on into that part of the star fields that we associate with hexagram number 37. And hexagram number 37, it's in the emotion center. So we're definitely involving emotions here. And it's the gateway we call family, friendship and family. And what's that all based on, right? It's based on, we're still in this situation in this part of the sky where we have the lower trigram, the lower three chop marks in the hexagram are solid, broken, solid, signifying fire, right? Fire in the belly, right? So that's the basis of the family situation. So let's have a look, see how that plays out as we go through the different pages here. These are the pages. We've got the wheel on the left, and you're beginning to see, oh yes, this is one of the opposites. So the 37 has on the other end of it as a potential hexagram number 40. And so if the sun is in the 37, for example, at the same time, the earth is in the 40. So whenever the sun is in the 37, we have by transit that whole channel, the 3740, which is the channel of community. So we're going to see as the sun goes into 37 and spends the 5.5 days there, family is going to, and community and the agreements within community are going to come to the surface. What is the foundation of community? And family is very much a part of it. So here's the wheel, and we can see directly, yes, we have this connection right across. So when you have an opposite on the wheel, you've got to realize, in the I Ching terms, we're talking about yin and we're talking about yang. So whatever happens in the 37 hexagram, we have the exact opposite in the 40 hexagram. So I'm saying the basis of the 37, is the bottom three marks is fire. Opposite side of the wheel, we got water. So fire and water together make up this community of the community channel here. Very, very essential channel because it's one of the three most common channels that show up in human design. The other two are the 4323 from the third eye to the throat, the channel of structuring and expressing novel concepts, insights. And the other one is the 2034 from the corner of the throat center to the top of the sacral center, this channel I call being busy, busy, busy. So these are the three most common channels. They are opposites on the wheel. And now we're looking at this one of community. And what is community all about? So on the 37 end of it, we have family and friendship and community. Whether on a spiritual, community, or family level, clear interrelationships are necessary for the stability and well-being of everyone. So family extends beyond just those people that you are born around, or the parents and siblings, or anyone, or cousins or aunties, uncles, all that. Yes, family includes blood relatives, but it starts extending into other realms as well. And so community basically is always looking out for itself. And having said that, it has a lot to do with property, ownership. And it's very easy within a family to say my child and my parent and my grandchild, and, as though, yeah, they actually belong to me, rather than seeing, hang on a minute, this is somebody who kind of came into our family here, and they're here to live their own life. And the key word within anything to do with this tribal circuitry in human design, the key word is the word support. Everybody plays their role within the family. And we'll see as we go through the 6 lines, there are 6 very different ways in which contribution can be made to the family's concern. But in the community situation, as we see, it is all about 2 very, very particular characteristics. We know about family, it's all about familiarity. And if you've ever showed up on a doorstep to collect a girlfriend or boyfriend, and the family, the parents are there and they're scrutinizing you, Is there a fit here? Is there a degree of responsibility here? Is this person going to play by the family rules here? Can we have a little side chat and just make sure we're on the right page here in terms of how things are going to get played out? And it has everything to do with marriages as well, and the agreements within marriages, the dowry or the property or the last name of the family or the religion in which the family children get raised, and all these things. There are all kinds of agreements that are made through this particular channel of the 3740. So the 37 is the foundation of it, and it says familiarity within a family, whether its members are recognized through blood relationship, community, or business. We can say even it extends to corporations, it extends to nationalities, it certainly relates to political parties, these kinds of things, right? Familiarity is exercised through touch and food, right? It's touch, handshakes, hugs, this kind of familiarity. And we all know perfectly well who we're allowed to touch and who we're not, where it's appropriate to have a handshake, where it's appropriate to have a hug, and where absolutely, this is taboo, not to happen. And we can see, in times where there's things like COVID going around, nobody's allowed to even get close to anyone else. You're not allowed to touch. And so the whole sense of community changes completely. And the whole thing of food, sitting at a table together and eating food together. And there are certain cultures, where there is just one plate of food in the middle of the table or the carpet or the spread. And everybody dips in and shares from that single plate. So many, many things in this area of human design, in this understanding of who's who belongs, who gets access to the food, who gets access to be able to touch and hold. And there is that thing of holding on to something. And, what do they say? 9/10 of possession is actually having the thing. So, there's a lot in this particular stream, in this particular gateway particularly. And family is the foundation of community ethics. What is allowed, what's not allowed, what's behavior is appropriate and what not. And, if you've ever sat in somebody else's family as, a potential member of that family, you're kind of watching out for yourself a little bit. All community accomplishments are based from a family understanding. So whether it's communal efforts, communal support, barn raising, community get-togethers, community assembles, it all comes down to this particular channel, and in particular to the gateway number 37. So let's have a look through the lines. And we start off with the first line. As with all hexagrams, the first line provides the foundation for the whole understanding of family. All right, so what's the foundation of the family? It's the matriarch or the patriarch. And, you'll find if you've got the 37 with the first line, it doesn't matter how old you are, everybody looks to you in one way or other as the matriarch or the patriarch. You're the one that kind of calls the shots. And it's just one of those things that revering, respect and honor is due to the innately wise. Well, it's assumed the foundational presence, the 37 with the first line, has that innate wisdom. And so we see the matriarch and the patriarch of any family, community, corporation, whatever, there's a respect and honor due to them. In tribal circumstances, it's the elders. The elders have the word, they have the rule system, they describe what the family is going to be all about. What are the standards? What are the ethics? And so the first line here, being considerate in your own attitudes, encourages others to be attentive in theirs. So in a sense, it comes down to behavior patterns and how you interact and how you treat everybody. Do you naturally treat everybody as family? I mean, we are all on the same planet. We're not quite there yet to appreciate that we're all on the same boat here. We all are actually part of the same family in some way, the human family. But, there's that whole thing of being responsible in one's own attitude, or being considerate in one's own attitude, encourages everybody else to be considerate in theirs too. We're all in this together. So the Venus side of things, through harmony and friendliness, you provide a solid basis for all relationships. Right, there it is, harmony and friendship. Yeah, welcome, come and eat with us, come and join us. Come and be part of our family scene here. And as you come in, as you're invited in here, we're saying there are certain rules and certain ways in which you can participate here, and certain things that are not going to be allowed. They're just a family idea. Who does what? Who sits where? Who gets to do what? And the other side of it, if you take a competitive stance, you can lose inherent friendliness and compatibility. And there can be somewhat of a competition between families, or even within families, sibling rivalry, or, the family against another family in the community. There can be this whole sense of a competitive stance. And again, part of the whole 37, part of this whole thing of friendship and family. Where does it fit? Second line always has a natural quality to imply, to impart. And the line is called being self-sufficient. Achievements are enhanced through synergy. And so when a family pulls together, somebody does the table preparation, somebody prepares the food, somebody brings the food, somebody sets out, who gets to sit where, somebody does the dishes afterwards, somebody takes out the trash. Like all of these agreements that happen, how just very simple things can mean that everybody is contributing in one way or another. And that is how the family really thrives, is when this coordinated contribution takes place. Everybody knows their place. Grandma and granddad sit at the top of the table, parents next, kids next, grandkids next. It's just, there's a whole layout. Achievements are enhanced through synergy. So when everybody plays their part, and the second line just has this natural way of playing within the family. I take care of this. I'm in charge of that. You endorse personal responsibility as the foundation for community strength. Right? Everyone plays their part. Everyone takes responsibility. And the second line, it's a natural thing. Of course, I'll do my part. The Jupiter side of things, taking full responsibility for your own life, you profoundly alter the world around you. This is one of the amazing things of this particular time of life on planet Earth. We're moving out of the age of blame, as though everything that goes wrong is everybody else's fault. That in fact, that anything did go wrong and there's major issues. But there's always this thing of pointing, it's nothing to do with me, it's everybody else. The kind of victim mentality. And the planet has to move out of that state. I know it doesn't look like it's terribly easy at this point in time, but that's basically, we're moving out of the Piscean age, a faith-based age, and we're moving into the Aquarian age, where it really is the age of taking personal responsibility. So the 37 with the second line really has a natural way of providing this responsibility by taking full responsibility for your own life, right? Has a ripple effect around you. The other side of it, you might attempt to save the world by emphasizing the shortcomings of others. I'm doing my thing. What about you? Nobody else is doing their thing. And there it is. It's so easy to start pointing away and just seeing everything screwed up because of everybody else, rather than seeing the more beneficial side of, okay, I'll do my part in this, and I will always do my part. I will always take responsibility for my side of things. The third line is called moderating. A steady reserve supports communal well-being. So third lines are always the ones that perhaps go a little bit out of their way sometimes. So they try out new things. They seek to expand on the family's well-being, if you will, of the support that can be engendered there. And what it says is, in disagreements, there is a need for authority and fairness to bring the family back together. I have never come across a family where there isn't some form of disturbance on some level. I mean, it may be just trivial stuff sometimes, but the third line has that possibility of seeing, hey, we don't need to do that. We're family. We can pull it back together again. And so the thing of it is, within family, there is always that sense of potential forgiveness. That there are transgressions, and okay, fine, your family, we forgive you, come back in again. And the third line can be very quick at resolving these kinds of issues. Your expansive and generous sensitivity supports open and clear relationships. that no problem is too big. Sooner or later, we see the foolishness of falling out with each other. And, if we agree, come together again, we have a handshake deal, we hug, all is forgiven. I mean, it is said that a 10-second hug, and that, let's just face it, the 37 and the 40 and that whole channel of community is all about hugs. It's all about handshakes. It's all about those kinds of arrangements, touch, familiarity. So they say about a 10-second hug, like the endorphins flying through the body just go off the charts. It can be so completely healing. But, again, we've got to see who's allowed to touch whom. What's it all about? Is the hug a genuine one? And when I say genuine, I have this channel 3740 in my design. I know the difference between somebody that's giving me a hug and somebody that's just kind of patting me on the back and wanting to get away. I also know what it feels like to get a genuine handshake where somebody looks me in the eye and says, yeah, we have an accord here. We're going to pay attention to each other. If we have a deal or an agreement between us, we're going to follow through on that. And so the 37 really has that agreement, the handshake deal. That is a particularly Western thing, the handshake deal. I mean, basically, if you go back far enough, it basically shows I don't have a sword or a knife in my hand, or maybe a gun. I just got an open hand. I'm going to, we're going to shake. Here, your expansive and generous sensitivity supports open and clear relationships. That's the third line. The other side of it, emotional imbalance, right? We are in the emotion center here. Emotional imbalance. You've got an issue. You've got some issue with the family. There's some kind of problem with the familiarity. You're not getting access to the resources that you feel you should get. Makes you more concerned to keep order than acknowledge feelings. Right? We all know what it feels like to be within family and everybody's on the same page and everybody's supporting each other and everybody's contributing. We know what that sensation is. And we also know when things are out of order and somebody feels like they're being left out or shortchanged or ostracized in some way or other. And so the third line is very much in that position where it can overcome these upsets or these potential difficulties and things. We get to the fourth line. The line is called enriching. Now, fourth line is very much the we. It's we are all in this together. And in a family dynamic, it's a really important thing for the family to have that. Yeah, we're all pulling the same way. We're all on the same page together. We are all in league with each other. And if it connects to the 40, we're making this connection through the heart center, the willpower center. And, the family is aimed towards deriving or receiving or accomplishing great rewards and things of value that enhance the prosperity of the family. So the fourth line here is we're all in this enriching, supporting the family's prosperity. You emphasize that the well-being of families involves everyone's presence and contributions. We're all pulling the same way. We're all in this together. And you'll know in any situation in your life where you felt like, you've got a team around you, and the team was, we're definitely pulling together. We're definitely aimed at the same target here. And we're all supporting each other. And that's what it's all about. And it's an amazing thing when the family is just watchful and mindful for each other, or the team is all corresponding or engaging with each other, that everybody is included. And amazing things can happen from that synergy, from that connection there. You further the well-being of your world through all your clear contributions. I mean, there's some very particular words in here. You further the well-being of your world through all your clear contributions, right? Clear contributions. I am giving of myself here. I am providing for the richness and well-being of the family's prosperity. The other side, your particular view of family is prone to approve only traditional ways and views. And here is, well, we all know what traditions are like. If you've grown up in a family where, there are certain celebrations at certain times of the year, and this is what we always do, and there can be customs and things like that. And then times change and things move on, and all of a sudden we find that traditions perhaps are no longer so relevant, but there is still this kind of attachment to them. And again, sticking with a tradition, it may bring about prosperity, or it may actually derail the prosperity. It may be, hey, we're being sidelined in a particular way that doesn't serve us anymore. And so the fourth line has to be really clear about that. Are we up to date? Are we actually in this state of support rather than following some old idea of how things were supposed to be? Fifth line, the line of being loyal, natural and magnanimous devotion to the family. Fifth line, it always has that potential leadership quality of kind of overseeing everything, what can be, how to bring about the greatest benefit for everything. And so being loyal, I'm loyal to the family. Yeah, I'm part of this thing. I'm going to give my full support to it. Natural and magnanimous devotion. You forgive all transgressions. Yeah, come on back in again. All right, you screwed up, but come back in within the family, right? Come join us again. Come and join us for dinner. People with the channel, the 3740, and particularly people with the 37, they can have a spiritual experience around a dinner table. Really. It's a communal experience. There's just a buzz around the table. Everybody's in tune. Everybody's enjoying the food. Everyone's complimenting the food. Everyone's helping with the energy around the table in the sense that they're telling good stories. They're being considerate of each other. They're letting each other have their say, telling good jokes, cleaning up afterwards. It can be a whole extraordinary experience, eating in the right company when everybody is engaged in that way. And the fifth line definitely appreciates that. I say very often to people with the 37 or the 3740 or the 40th gateway themselves, be very clear who you eat with, who you share bread with, who you enjoy having meals with. If it's somebody that you just, absolutely, I would have this person at my dinner table any day of the week, that is your family. He's part of your family. She's part of your family. But, there are some people, it's like, can't they sit at another table somewhere? And we'll just bring this group together. They don't quite fit. They don't quite get the sense of what our family is all about here. We bring in outsiders every now and again, but, they either fit within what's going on here, or they can go and sit somewhere else. They can go and eat somewhere else. I mean, this whole thing is about the familiarity and the vibration of the family. Your selfless affection enhances the love and harmony felt among everyone around you. That's the fifth line. When you're in tune with your life, when you're seeing who needs to be there and who sits there and who gives the support and how you encourage them to give the support, then you have a group of people that, there's a harmony, there's a synchronicity there together. So selfless affection, everybody come and sit down, everybody join in here. It enhances the love and harmony felt among everyone around you. Amazing. It's what can I say, transcendent love. It's this love that echoes out into the world around you. The other side of it with Mars, you can lean on others for emotional support while still disliking the signs of dependency. All of us have felt, there are times to be within a family situation. There's times I need to be on my own outside of this. And all of us appreciate our independence, but all of us, there's also that extraordinary sensation when we are accepted and enjoined and appreciated in a family context or a community context or a business context. The sixth line, the line called being astute, holding high personal standards, encourages others to do the same. Remember, with all 6 lines, it's at the top end of the hexagram. You can see everything going on around the dinner table. You can see everybody going on in the community. And it holds very high standards. We're going to make a deal. It's a deal. I'm going to do my thing, and I'm expecting you to do the same thing. And if you can't hold up your end of the deal, you're out. And the 37 with the 6th line, very astute. I'm holding high standards. You're going to make an agreement with me. I'm going to encourage you to do the same. If you can't do it, forget it. You're out. You're not going to be included here anymore. Being true to your own feelings of responsibility ensures your ability to benefit everyone. Families do well when somehow or other the matriarch or the patriarch or whatever the family understanding is, we're all in this together. We're all contributing to our own and to each other's benefit. And so, again, this 37 just reminds us about our responsibility to the family, to the community, to the corporation, to the business, to clients, everybody that comes in and out of our life that come closer to us in a sense. Here you recognize and enhance all the qualities of life possible through harmonious friendships. An amazing thing when you have a friend and you have that harmonious friendship. It's like you can do anything with each other. There's just everything in life seems to be possible. And it's just that thing. We're on the same page. We're in this harmonic vibration together. And that's what the 37 is all about. We're family. And you may have said, we're family to somebody that has, goodness knows where they came from. They're certainly not a blood relative, but they're that close. You have that feeling about them, that proximity, that familiarity. And the other side here, your restless nature often craves diverse friendships beyond the boundaries of the family. And that's another thing with the 37, and particularly the 37 with the 5th and 6th lines. There can come a point where you look and see the circumstances that you find yourself in. And you suddenly come to the realization, they've been my family so far, but somehow or other, it's a little bit stuck in old traditions or old ways. And there's a part of me that wants to move on, that wants to find a different community, a different family, different work, different business. And so that can happen with the 37. Like all of a sudden, I'm changing families in a way. And certainly this happens through when marriages take place. All of a sudden there's a branch, there's a whole different possibility, and a family can move to a different part of the world and have a completely different life there. So all of this is possible within the context of the 37 hexagram. And as I say, the 37 is part of the 3740, this channel of community. It's one of the 3 most common channels that show up in human design. And sooner or later, with a number of people that have this channel, 3740, or the 37 or the 40, we get to realize we are one. There is one thing going on here. We're all human beings on this planet playing different roles. But the more we can find that congruity or that possibility to find the familiarity and the friendship, that we can all break bread together, that we can all have handshake deals on stuff, everything will change. And so I see very much the community, and certainly the family, is very much part of this consciousness evolution that's taking place on this planet. That the more we pull together, the more we associate with each other as though we're supporting each other in our journey, wherever that journey might take us, the greater the possibility for raising the consciousness on this planet is going to be. So there we are. That's gate